before Kendrick Lamar would clock in 7.6 million followers on Twitter and another 4.2 million before Kendrick would receive a total of 22 Grammy nominations between 2014 and 2017 and would take home 7 Grammy wins, as well as 14 BET Hip Hop Award wins and another 4 BET Awards, before Kendrick Lamar would team up with J-Rock, M.a.a.d, Soul and Schoolboy Q to form the rap collective Black Hippy. Growing up in Compton, California, Kendrick Lamar's family survived on welfare and food stamps. His family lived in a 3-bedroom house at 1612 on 137th Street, just 6 blocks from Tam's Burger Joint, where Suge Knight ran over and killed a man. Young Kendrick was not your average child. Not only was he super inquisitive, he was also an A+ student with plans to go to college. He also had a noticeable stutter. That's probably the reason he first dreamt of becoming a basketball player in the NBA before focusing his time and talents into poetry, literature, and music. Also, he's only 5'6". Another interesting fact right out the gate is that his last name is actually Duckworth, but he dropped that from his artist moniker, choosing to use his first and middle name instead. Why did he do that? Well, you're getting Lamar! That clip cracks me up. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael Crutton, documenting the life and career of Kendrick Lamar prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now, we dropped the original to this video back in 2015, and when I look back at the comments, well, you guys are all asking for an update. Also in that video, I used the N-word, and I'm truly sorry, but it was the mixtape title. Again, I'm truly sorry, it won't happen again, and it certainly hasn't happened since. Alright, let's get into this bio, and as always, be sure to let me know in the comments down below who you want me to document next. In Compton, California on June 17, 1987. His mother Paula was one of 13 kids, and his father Kenny was one of 7. The young couple had moved to Compton in 1984 from Chicago's South Side, where his father was reportedly getting into trouble being involved with the Gangster Disciples. They moved across country with only $500 in their pocket, and his mother first got a job at McDonald's and his dad later at KFC. The couple slept in a car or in the park until they had enough money to get a place of their own. Once they checked that off their bucket list, they had their first child, Kendrick, who his mother named after the singer Eddie Kendricks. Eventually, 2 little brothers and a sister would follow, but not for another 7 years or so. For a long time, Kendrick was an only child, and he showed so much curiosity and smarts at a young age that his parents nicknamed him Man. He was also a bit of a loner and would sit back observing everything, which often involved house parties with his young parents and his uncles, cranking oldies and gangster rap, drinking, smoking, and of course laughing. Money was hard to come by. Besides working in fast food, his mother would cut hair, and his dad was pulling in some money from the streets. What was he doing exactly? Well, I don't know. That's a conversation Kendrick and his father have yet to have. He did witness his father looting tires during the 1992 South Central riot. His uncles did a 15-year stretch for robbery, another is locked up now for the same crime, and his uncle Tony was shot in the head at a burger stand when Kendrick was a boy. I hope it wasn't Suge Knight. Maybe it was. Vivid memory Kendrick has from his childhood was when his father boosted the 8-year-old Kendrick onto his shoulders so they could watch Dr. Dre and Tupac film the music video for California Love. And Tupac, that's Kendrick's idol. Oh yeah, and it wasn't the music video that's like Mad Max out in the desert, there's another version. His family was and is extremely close-knit, and his parents were very loving. Despite what they didn't have with money, well, it was a happy home, and young Kendrick always got a gift on Christmas. By the end of middle school, Kendrick had developed a noticeable stutter when saying certain words. It was in the 7th grade that his English teacher, Mr. Ng, worked with Kendrick on this issue by getting him interested in poetry. He instantly found his passion, but in the back of his mind, he still dreamt of becoming a basketball player. This ambition would eventually fade away as his poetry turned into rap lyrics. At home, Kendrick started writing non-stop. Being a grade A student, his parents figured he was always working on his homework. When they finally looked what he was writing, they saw words like, by the time Kendrick made it to high school, a lot of his friends were getting involved in gang culture. Some of them became blood affiliates with the Westside Pirates. Meanwhile, Kendrick was flirting with the idea of keeping his grades up so he could go to college. Eventually, he swayed a little too far in the wrong direction, and innocent fun like riding bikes, doing backflips off friends' roofs, and sneaking at house parties turned into robberies, home invasions, and running from the cops. One of his friends was killed, Kendrick was shot at by the police, and had multiple run-ins with the law where the cops pulled a gun on him. There was even a time when Kendrick was struggling with alcohol, which is an addiction that his family has long struggled with. It got to the point where his parents kicked him out of the house. When you live in Compton, that's not a good thing. It was time for Kendrick to get his priorities in order, and at 16 he released his first full-length project, his mixtape, YNIC. And what the N stands for, well, I can't say it. The mixtape drew in a lot of interest in his native Southern California and beyond. The project was enough to get Lamar a record deal with Top Dog Entertainment, a respected independent label with connections to major labels. He went on to release 2 other acclaimed mixtapes, Training Day and C4. Steadily working with other up-and-coming West Coast rappers like J-Rock, Soul and Schoolboy Q. And working with these fine gentlemen, they would form the rap collective Black Hippy. We've actually done it before. They were famous on Soul and Schoolboy Q. J-Rock, I totally let you down. And previous to this, Kendrick had been using K-Dot as his rap moniker, but he decided to start using his own name in 2010. Mixtape Overly Dedicated, and that same year, Kendrick released his first full-length independent album under Top Dog Entertainment, titled Section 8.0. It was released exclusively on iTunes. Continued writing and recording, he was now touring with the likes of Jeezy, The Game, Busta Rhymes, and Lil Wayne. He had made it. His next big break came when Dr. Dre took young Kendrick under his wing to become his mentor, signing him to Aftermath Entertainment. In October of 2012, Lamar's highly anticipated major label debut album, Good Kid, Mad City, was released to wide acclaim. Hit singles like Swimming Pools and Poetic Justice had the rapper emerge as a talent to watch. Performed on Saturday Night Live and sat down on late night television with the likes of David Letterman and Jimmy Fallon. All of a sudden, the boy from Compton had the